Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a second. I mean, I always say I'm gonna come back and do like, weekly videos, but sometimes life just throws you curveballs and it's like, damn, I really gotta get with it. I mean, life's been weird, but it's been, I don't know. I'm grateful for the experiences I've been through as of recently, but I'm also like, damn. It's been crazy. So I do have some updates for you guys. That's kind of the whole reason why I wanted to do today's video, and then also I wanted to talk about some other things that I feel like I haven't discussed, more about me and like what my goals are, because I feel like a lot of people like to relate to that. Like I think that like setting goals and being able to look back and be like, wow, I actually did all that, and like it's a very good accomplishment, like milestone thing, and it helps me feel more at ease. So you guys have seen some of the psych-minded episodes that I have posted on here on YouTube, and that's definitely good episodes. I just think that for me, I wasn't getting fulfillment out of those videos. I wanted something more, and I kind of wanted something that was like more verbal than like video. So I decided I think it'd be best that I continue my psych-minded episode things on podcasts, like an actual podcast called Psych-minded, versus doing videos of it on here. Say if the podcast gets cute and big and people want to find it on other platforms, of course I'll post that on YouTube. But I think it's just better because then I can go more in depth, I can talk longer, and I can also have a little more of a solid game plan versus a video where like you're just sitting there talking. Like I like my videos to not feel scripted, so I feel like a podcast would be the great way to like get through the, everything is natural flow, but when it comes to specific facts and everything that I want you guys to take away from the videos, I need to go more in depth. And then that's like, okay, well then it's gonna be an extra long video and no one's gonna wanna watch that. So, resolution, make a podcast. So, I already have, the first episode is out. I just posted it a little bit ago because I wanted people to get a feel for what this podcast is gonna be, who I am, what I have as in background. Like, I'm not just some random person talking about it. Like, I actually have mental health experience. So I think just being able to like correlate all this together and give you guys a solid package of like, here's some psych information. I hope you guys are interested. And the episodes aren't just gonna be like information. Like, it's gonna be very like, I want it to be very unnatural flowing season kind of thing. Like each year would be like a season, I don't know, but basically I would be doing videos like, who came up with the idea of personality traits, and what does that mean? Like, what are personality traits, and what are the personality types, like stuff like that. And then also I have one coming up that I'm going to be doing the differences between, for instance, like diagnoses like schizophrenia and diagnoses like DID. I think some people get confused on all of the symptoms and the diagnoses like history, that they associate both of them together, and it's not the case. So I think it's going to be really cool, and I'm also going to be having other people on the podcast, not just myself. So I'm going to be having like, for instance, psychology colleagues or people that I know that are in psychology as well, or major in psychology, and we're going to be talking about certain stuff, planning out an episode for you guys. And then also I don't know if you guys knew this, but my oldest sister is a clinical psychologist, and she will be graduating and be officially becoming a doctor of psychology soon. I believe it's in December, this is when, or a year from now, one or the other. But either way, she has so much information. I want to have her on the podcast like possibly every other week, or maybe once a month. I don't know, because her insight is just amazing, and I want to be able to provide the best concepts, the best knowledge, and just an overall really healthy, natural flow for the podcast. So that's what my biggest little news is, as an update. The other update is that I'm going to be trying to post more creative content. So I will have my little videos that I talk about certain topics and whatnot, but I think with going forward with YouTube, I want a lot of it to be content project based. So y'all are getting a whole new mixtape in March. I've been putting out some singles, and those are doing really well. If you guys have Loom, download Loom and go to JAIME. Well, it's JAIME, but JAIME, either or. You can say what you want. You can look up my and it's literally just that name, and then I'll pop up. That's the best place to listen to my music because 1, you can make playlists, 2, you can see other people's content, 3, it's just a great place to like see my whole discography and get the feel for what the energy brings. I am a very big believer in energy, and when I talk about my music and look at my music and feel my music, it feels like good energy. So I love to like share that. So that's kind of like why I want everyone to like go on Loom and do it there. But I'm going to be doing other projects, but there's going to be a whole new mixtape coming out in March on Loom, on SoundCloud. I don't think I'm going to post all the audio on YouTube because that's just a lot. I'm thinking I'm going to do, obviously I have music videos and stuff ready for you guys and whatnot, and that and all that will be posted as, you know, I would with the launch. So I'm very excited for it. I think you guys are gonna really love this one. And then I also have other things planned in the future, but a lot of it is project based. So back to that, I was just wanting to be able to be like, well, this is more project-based channel than it is an everyday or every week kind of thing. And I'm starting to realize this because like I love to create, but I like to create things that have more of a structure or a meaning or a deeper meaning. Like I don't want to just create a video to create a video. I want it to have like its own moment. I don't know. So that's kind of my thoughts right now behind that. But I am going to be trying to post like, you know, a couple videos each month at the most. On this channel, but there will be months coming up that are going to have a lot of stuff, and then I will be giving it a little breather and then coming back to it, and not by like a hiatus, but like, you know, maybe you get 7 videos in one month and then you get 5 or 4 in the next. Like that's kind of the thing. I'm also a student, you guys know this. I'm pursuing psychology, so I'm constantly having to study. I don't think that time-wise, between all my hobbies and my, you know, small business and my studying and, you know, what I like to do, that stuff is like, I have to give divided time. So I'm like, well, I think when I'm weighing out my options and looking at how I've divided up my life, I have a lot of that devoted to school, a lot of that with this new job that I'm going to talk to you guys about later. I haven't really discussed it with anyone yet. Then I have my music, and then I have my brand, which is my small business. And then I have my social life and my family and my friends. And I want to be able to make appropriate divided time for, you know, everything that I'm doing in my life. So that's kind of why I'm like, YouTube is going to be more projects now than it is an everyday kind of thing. But I love that I have subscribers that are always wanting to see, you know, what I'm doing next. You guys give me great energy, so I'm just like, yes, like, let's combine the energies and let's do good shit, you know what I mean? So anyway, enough about that. I wanted to talk also about some stuff that, like I said, you guys probably don't even like really hear about from me or even know about me, but like, I did want to talk about how I write music and why I do and what inspires me, not just with writing music, but like to keep going and doing the things I do in my life. So I am a big believer in mental health. You guys already know that's literally what I go to school for. I think that mental health plays a big role in how we, obviously, it plays a huge role, it can go on, but how we function throughout our days, you know, what our behavior is, how we think, how we go about certain situations. I personally have noticed that the mental health diagnoses that I deal with, which I will eventually talk about more openly, but I feel like sometimes it makes it a little hard for me to like feel connected to other things. Like, I don't know, it's really hard to explain. Sometimes it takes over my day and I'm like, damn, like I need to like focus on some stuff, you know what I mean? I need to focus on something that brings attention to me, you know, like expresses me. And so far that's been my music within the past like year, maybe a year or two. I don't really remember when I started like that, but I'd always been interested in wanting to do music. And then once I started and I was able to put my first little thing out, that felt amazing because I felt like people could understand something that was going on in my head. And then I started making more and more. I have my own small project that I had made that is an experimental project, so I was experimenting with a different genre, and that's gonna obviously be my own, but I have other stuff that I had made within these past years that I'm like, wow, like this feels like very what I need to do to express my personality, my drive for expression. So through my music, I feel like I'm able to express my feelings, my thoughts, small concepts that I wouldn't think I needed to express, but once I've expressed it through my music, makes me feel more aware and open about that. And it's kind of crazy because I've told a lot of my friends this, and I hope that you guys can, like, I mean, you don't need to see what I'm saying, but I hope you can understand, like, say if you do write music or whatever, or whatever you do that you make, and it's like a foreshadowing to your future, which is very weird because, like, okay, basically I wrote 2 projects. One of them was about figuring out myself and what I want to do and stuff like that, and once I had written that, like literally months later, I started understanding everything I felt like I needed to from that project. And then and it was while I was making it, you know, and then I did another one, and this one was about like true love coming to you, coming back to you, this and that, and that had happened for me. And then I had written songs within that project that were like about, oh, like, you know, moving forward, but knowing like that you're good on the outside and inside type thing. Like that was something I had experienced as well after the fact. So it's very like, I've been living my music within the past like years, like everything I've made, I've been living through. And it's really crazy because I feel like sometimes people just make stuff to make stuff, or, you know what I mean? Like there's no real feeling behind it, but I feel like I've devoted so much energy into a lot of what I've done, and that in its own has helped me express myself and how I feel and what I want others to like take away from me. And not take away, but like, you know, take away from my energy, you know. And I'm just like really happy with what I've done with my stuff. Like I have stuff that I'm working on currently still that I am like, wow, I'm still working through and living through everything that I'm experiencing and feeling. And I feel like that's how artistry should be. But the reason I'm talking about it is because like I've noticed that I like to do project-based things, and stuff like that makes me feel like I'm working on and moving past certain like building blocks or certain obstacles that were in my past, you know. I feel like I've healed old wounds. I feel like I've healed the way I was supposed to. So that's really helpful when it comes to like, you know, writing my music. Because I honestly just put the truth into it, and like whenever I feel like, oh, say something doesn't flow, I'll switch it. But then sometimes if I'm like, no, this might sound better, I just know when I feel like I've written what I needed to write. And so that can sound like a little weird, but I just feel like sometimes I'm just writing what I'm supposed to. So it's kind of crazy. But when I write, I like to keep open-mindedness. I like to be mindful of, you know, not falling into a stereotype when I'm writing. Like I don't want a love song to be about getting loved, or not getting loved, like finding love and like losing it. Like, I mean, there's more to it. There's different things that I wanted to, you know, kind of put into the music. I think you guys are gonna see there's gonna be a little bit of a shift, but it's good because I've done a lot of like cool song. It's hard to explain. I don't want to give away too much because I also like keeping my projects like this secretive until I'm ready to talk about them, because I think I want it to be like a slow kind of like, I don't know, sweep into my life. It's weird. I don't know. I also just think that's like the stuff that I'm like very proud of. I want to like, you know, give it its moment. So anyway, but when I write my music, I like to think about, you know, the good life. I like to think about not like, you know, negative things happening. I like to think about, you know, the positives, the stuff that you can work on, the stuff that you can feel. I had wrote a song where I talk about like feeling free finally and being able to express what that is or what that feels like. And like I remember I had written like, oh, like, you know, take a breath to be free, like, you know, and it's something that I didn't think I needed to hear, but when I listen back to my music, I'm like, wow, maybe I need to hear these things too, you know, like, and it's crazy because like, I think that's why I do it. I think I write and do what I want to do because I think it's a way of expression and really like a way to emote. Like, I don't think a lot of people give their emotions to, you know, other people like that, and that's fine. Like, you can totally be at your own pace with like, you know, giving emotion and like being able to accept it back. But I think there's not a lot of feeling of like emotions or, you know, interpretation of feelings in a lot of the things that we see in the world. Like, I feel like the world has kind of told us to, I guess, like suppress our feelings, because I sometimes feel like I can't be emotional or use, you know, sympathetic or empathetic feelings or strategies in a lot of the things that you see in the world. Like, for instance, when you're at work, they don't really care how you feel sometimes. They just are there to like say, okay, you need to do your job, like it's your job, you get paid for that. And it's like, you know, I get that kind of idea because that's the world we're in, but it just sucks because it's like, I wish people could feel more and like be more receptive and understand like energies go a long way. If you have good energies all around you, only good things will possibly happen, you know. And I just feel like I like to keep that in my music because it's like, it's something that makes me feel like the environment is fresh, well, and just chef's kiss. But yeah, I don't know. And when I write, I typically go over it maybe once, and then I go over it again the next day. And then I do it maybe for 2 more days, like going over that song. And then when I feel like I've hit where I want to with it, I record it, you know, add my vocals, add all the stuff that I need to add into it. And then I start to go in and mix the song, edit it, you know, do what I need to for it. And sometimes I feel like, you know, when you do that, you find these little things where you're like, oh no, I want to do this, I want to add this, I want to take this out, or I want to add a layer here, like. And when I do that, I'm adding more layers of emotion, more layers of, you know, energy into my songs. And I think that's why I feel like there's a lot of energy there in my songs. So in a sense, writing music and being able to put music out, even if no one's listening, like I literally could care less if anyone listens, but it's making me feel like I can express myself and put out my feelings into the world without it being like kind of rejected or like people just like meh, whatever, you know, over it. I think it's like a good way to like express yourself. So what I think I do is I do like some type of spiritual healing while writing, and it's very therapeutic because sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to write, but I don't know what to write. And then I start listening to something and then I'm like, wow, like, you know what, this is what I want to write about. Something just comes to me, and I don't know. It's crazy because I always used to think like when I was younger, like when it came to writing music, you had to have a team or you had to have, you know, someone to help you with, you know, rhyming schemes or whatever the case. And it's like, no, like go natural with it. Like, I think with me, I've never really had to look at rhyming cues or anything like that. Like nothing that is going to tell me, oh, like you need to, you know, change from this pattern structure when you're doing music. Like, no, I just write as is. I kind of write stories in a sense. I try to write something that I feel like I'm able to take with me. It's really weird. Like, I always randomly, when I'm like not even at home or if I'm like at the store or something, sometimes I'll think about something I wrote and then I'll just sing it in my head, and then that's something that will stick with me. And I'm like, you know what, that's so crazy. Like, I myself find it catchy. Of course you do, you made it. But you're also like, I don't know, it's just, it's something cool. I don't know. It's a very hard concept to talk about, like, just in general, because it's like, it's an overwhelming feeling of like satisfaction when your song turns out the way you wanted it to. And even if you were aiming for something, what it turns out to be usually ends up feeling better. Like, you feel more original with that because it's like, it wasn't fabricated. It was something that you just went naturally with. that's like how most of my stuff is. I'm very natural with my sounds and what I pick. Like when I pick a certain, like, you know, say like I write 4 stanzas of something and I'm like, you know what, I like this flow better. Like when I pick certain flows over another, I just know, like in my head, I'm just like, this makes more sense to me. I don't know. And sometimes I'm very good at, like, you know, perceiving if it's not sounding right. Like if something's off, I need to switch up a word, or I need to switch up a sound, or I need to switch up the structure of my sentence. Like, you know what I mean? But it's cool because I feel like I'm using so many different types of, like, critical thinking when I'm doing my music. So it's like I do get a good, you know, sense of satisfaction from it, because not only am I exercising my brain by, you know, writing music and, you know, perceiving it and then structuring it and then, you know, going in, being artistic with it, with the editing and the vocal layers and, you know, stuff like that is just so, it's just very therapeutic. So it's pretty cool. I don't know. I think, I feel like people would find it fascinating to, like, sit in on a writing session with me. I think purposely, like, I set up my surroundings to make sure, like, I have good energies, and then I go in and start writing. I have a little bit of a ritual now with my music, because I switched it up recently. I used to not do that as much because I felt like fidgeting and doing other things would kind of distract me, but now I'm noticing fidgeting does help me, you know, calm down, helps me relax. And I think just fidgeting while I'm writing music actually makes me focus, and I think that's just due to, like, stuff that I already know I deal with, but it's a good way for me to be able to write and have a clear sense of, like, okay, this is what I'm trying to say, you know what I mean? So yeah, this has been a little bit of a all over the place video, not too much, but it's kind of just the way I'm trying to express how I feel about my music and how I feel about the projects that I have going on in my life. Yeah, just exciting stuff. Of course, this channel is going to definitely continue for, like, forever. I don't even know when I'm gonna, like, decide in the future to not post on YouTube. I doubt it. It's definitely an expression thing for me. My channel is, like, a good, huge, monumental thing. Like, I don't know, in my life, I remember I started posting YouTube videos when I was, like, 12. So I'm like, I've been doing this for, what, 8 years? And it's like, I look back at videos when I'm younger and I'm like, whoa, I've definitely grown, and I'm gonna continue to grow, and it's just cool to see all the stuff I've done. But anyway, I will see you guys all in the next video, and hopefully the next one I'm not all over the place with updates and whatnot. I'm sure we'll be on a good topic. I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.